One, two, hit it!
I'm Mr. C, and you're logged on to the Guestlist Network.
Hi, it's Guestlist.net, and we're here today with Agoria. Hello, Sebastian. How you doing?
Nice to meet you. Thanks for the invitation.
No, it's great. It's great. Is this your first time to the UK?
No. I came like a lot of times, and in a way, I'm a bit a baby of Fabric, because Fabric is the first club who invited me, I think, to play in England, I think 7 or 8 years ago, when I released a techno ecstatic track with a big break. The name was La 11e Marche. And from that point, I started to play quite like a regular guest at Fabric, I think two times a year. So London. I like London. A lot of good parties here, and because the audience is really well educated, like a lot of media, a lot of magazines and radio. So it's always fun to play because we can go more forward, more deep into music. So and we have like a good festival in Lyon. The name is Nuit Sonore, which happens just.
That's a party that you put on, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not really objective saying this. You're right, but it's a festival I created like 8 years ago. But it's really good festival, and it's like we start quite modestly with 10,000 people the first edition, and this year last year was like 70,000 people.
70?
Yeah, 70,000.
It's
it was 70,000, and it's really like a good festival with indie band, but also all kind of electronic music artists from left field dubstep to techno and house.
So would you say that's French? That's the best French?
I can't say it because I'm too much involved to say. It would be pretentious to say, yeah, that's the best.
Mais vraiment, quelle envie cette idée de rester. À la lecture de tes pensées, j'aurais dû décamper. À quoi pour mesurer quelle dose d'amour s'était évaporée.
Can you tell us where it all began for you, Sebastian? I mean, musically, your influences as a child, and then eventually your little link with Jeff Mills and seeing that.
Well, the main influence, it's not a secret for everybody. It's like Detroit. Because when I was 12 years old, the first record I bought was Inner City Good Life.
Oh yeah.
It was really a major hit in the country on all the mainstream radios, so I had a chance to listen to this tune, and I was like I didn't know what was it, but it was the first record I bought. My father was a big collector of records, and so it was my first step.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And so Detroit was really from that point. I didn't know it was from Detroit, but when I look back, then I realized this. And Jeff Mills is also from Detroit, and he's the first DJs that I was like, He was playing with these 3 turntables, drum machine effects. He was the first DJ doing this. Now everyone's doing this with computers, but he was doing this really analog, and he was moving like a tiger, like really. It was really precise and really animal. And so I was like the little kids with these glasses, looking all the records, how he played and his technique. I was really into. Everybody is making too much music, and everybody releases too much music. I think one of the key words for the next years is to be quite rare, not releasing too much, looking for rarity and just like thinking a bit more before to release, because at the moment so many release every week, and then no one really take care, no one really pay attention, and every week there is a new one, and we forget the one of the week before. I think it's better to release just few ones, and so it's better to take time and just to take the best tracks that we've done in the last 6 months.
Put them together and then plan.
Or maybe not together, because it's true that even if I've just released an album, maybe the concept of the album is a bit dated now, because people are really listening music in another way. I don't think it's bad or good, it's just the simple evolution of things. But I really like the concept of album. Like a real album, not a collection of DJ tools. I like to make like really a beginning and a end and a start.
Yeah. So you've had two albums out before, one in 2006, one in 2008, and your current one, it's it's very, very different. I've listened to every single track again and again and again and again, and it's one of those albums that grows on you. I mean, obviously, because you make dance music, all of the album isn't dance music. So you can tell us a bit more about what the concept was.
I think this third album is you're both right and wrong. In a way, you're right because it's like different of the two others, like really not totally dance music, but it's I guess it's the continuity.
Yeah.
Because the two first albums, even if they were quite eclectic, they were still more influenced by techno and all these things, and with a lot of guests and vocalists. But on this one, I think I managed to do what I tried to do in the two first ones, in a way. Yeah. Not to say that the two others were really shit.
No, they weren't.
I mean, everyone is evolving and changing. But I think on this album I managed to really make this story from the first second to the last one. And I hope that the listener will really listen it in one way. Yeah. I don't know, like on the driving or even making love. I tried making love with this; is really good. I mean, one way. So I hope you can make love 1 hour because.
Anyway, sorry, go on.
So sometimes I'm really bad.
The intro.
This album there has a lot of vocalists too, but it's quite paradoxal because when you listen to it, you have the feeling that it's home listening album. But in fact, I'm playing so many tracks of this album: Pantarei, Soleil's Dreamer featuring Seth Troxler, Speechless with Carl Craig, Grande Torino, Little Shaman. All these tracks are playing in all my sets, so I'm quite happy that the result is fine. You can listen it really at home.
Yeah.
And also, I'm happy to play a lot of tracks from this album in my DJ set because this is what I'm doing and what I'm coming from.
That's what you're about. Yeah,
I've done the track quite easily, and each one answers to everyone.
And all molds together.
Really lucky, and I guess I've been also influenced by we were speaking about love, but I think I found really lucky to fall really in love deeply recently, and I think this gives me
that gives you the energy.
Not to be but this is really the main influence on this record.
Well, that's beautiful though. No, it is because music a lot of times, if you go in the studio, you could be angry, you could be full of remorse, you could be full of love, and a lot of these things throughout your life, when you actually make music, kind of that determines what comes out of the final.
I think the two best is to be totally depressed.
Yeah,
and then you have to give everything. Like it's okay. Everything must be a dark album sometimes, a bit too dark, but and also like this, if you get the luck to be really into good relationships, then it give you like you're a bit birds.
Yeah.
So no, that's the. If it's between monotonous, no. So sometimes it's good to have fight maybe to make good tracks. I will like maybe for the next album.
Yeah, being really pissed off. I think that works for me. Yeah, just go in there, just get it all out.
So what do? You go in the streets and you have a conflict with someone, and then
I'm gonna run a hit now.
Send me some bullshit things, please. I have to make a track.
That one's called The Slap. The other one's called. Are you actually living in France at the moment, or?
Yeah, I still live in my hometown, Lyon, where the festival Nuit Sonore take place. Yeah. I like to, because I'm traveling so much, I think it's important to sometimes get real home with your bass and friends, and because it's quite lonely to me to make electronic music nowadays. Like you're always in the studio alone or with a friend, but
friends off.
It's not like in an office or with a lot of people and you can share stuff, and it's really lonely work. And then most of the time we are just one or two traveling.
Tell our listeners and viewers a little bit about your setup when you play. I mean, everyone has their own little different way of doing things. So.
At the moment, I'm really thinking to move with digital because I think I'm the last one not using computers.
And me.
And you?
Yeah.
No, yeah. I think I'm still playing records and CDs.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
But it's good because a lot of records now, a lot of tracks are released only on vinyls. Yeah. So I feel a bit like happy to play tracks that no one else can play. But in a way, it's really tough sometimes because the sound system in the club now are not really well EQ and compressed for the vinyls.
For the vinyls.
They are all EQ'd now for the computer, so the problem is that when you play the
CDs are loud and then the vinyl's quiet.
And then also the vinyl is really warm, and so because of the CD's sound and it's a bit tight and straight, the guys, the sound engineer put a lot of bass So when you put a vinyl, then you have too much bass, and it's really difficult to play with all those. And so because of the sound problem, I think I will be forced to move to digital soon.
I just want to talk to you about lifetime achievement. What is your lifetime achievement?
I'm really involved at the moment in my own label, Infinity. I'm not sure if it's really a big achievement, but I'm quite defending the idea of getting a collective project. Mm-hmm. And so, for example, when I release an album, like all the thing that money we get, it's reinvest then to produce other artists. I like this thing of helping newcomers. I try to really sign most of them, people who are just not really known or just starting, because I really remember the first time the people who released my records were really like, okay, we know that your music is maybe not the best at the moment when I started, and then when I now listen my first records, I think it was the Cubic 01. Yeah. I think it was not really good, but these guys say, okay, we trust in you and we want to help you, and so and I think it's also in a way my turn to do this, like to help a lot to focus on some new artists.
Yeah, this is Agoria, Joe the Groove, Guestlist Network.